welcome to another brand new episode here on FS25 and the Market Gardener. So here we go. We are combining. Remember from the last episode, we started all of those fields to my left, behind me, and then top left, as we would look from here, or bottom left as we would look from here, I guess. Yeah, so we got those fields harvested, and we're carrying on today with the harvest. Should hopefully in this episode get the rest of the harvest done, I would hope. We've got 2 more fields to do after this one, but the 2 fields that we've got to do after this one are pretty big fields. Well, one of them's a big field anyway. So we are going to be, as I say, busy in the combine again. It's sort of our busy time of year, really. We've got, I missed a bit there. We've got not only our wheat to harvest, but we've also got our vegetables that will be ready to harvest, probably August, September time, and then we'll be busy with that. Now, I face a little bit of a dilemma with this because I think we've reached we've reached a crossing point, I think, with this save. We can either end this save here and say, I made a mistake, I didn't realise I'd left it on easy, that's given us, way too much money, which I'm not happy about, and we'll sort of say, we'll wait for a year or so till mods come out that would create like orchards and stuff like that, which we would be able to do. There are mods out there with trees like banana trees and apple trees and stuff like that. I have installed them and they are heavily errored at the moment, and therefore I kind of I don't mind mods having sort of errors in them, but I do know how to recognize game breaking errors, and usually anything that creates a lure call stack is a game breaking error at some point. There will be a point where you will install another mod and that will be eventually what finishes that mod off. So I haven't put them in. Now by the time as I say, we get a year down the line, not only will there be older equipment, which would be more in keeping with what we would have done anyway, because or we can say, we can say mistakes were made, we've got 2 million quid. Let's just imagine, unbelievably, that in real life, we were able to make this sort of money. Would we grow ourselves, far bigger than what we are now? Would we start looking at increasing the size of the fleet, building a new farm, because we can't really expand where we are. There's not much in the way of expansion where we are, but that doesn't stop us buying somewhere else. I've already highlighted an area that maybe we could buy, that maybe that we could expand. There are other areas, excuse me. I do apologize. There are other areas around the map that again we can expand, that we can build on, that we can sort of make good our home, if you like. And there are lots of other things that we could do, but all of them would sort of go beyond what originally I was intending for the save. And so it's kind of, I don't know, I don't mean this in a negative way, but I don't get enough people comment on my videos to say, I think you should do this, I think you should do that. And there is sort of like one person that does comment on these videos that I really appreciate. and I do really appreciate. So I'll be interested to hear their thoughts on it. But yeah, it's just kind of like I don't quite know where to go, because we either grow far bigger, we buy land, we buy bigger machinery, we do more, or we sort of say, yeah, we made some mistakes, we'll leave it a year and then we'll come back to this save, and we'll start again, and we'll make sure that, or I'll make sure that, we do it properly thereafter. Well, that was good timing, wasn't it? He's gonna go through the sign. No, he's gone around the sign. I'm impressed. Oh dear. Well, you can't miss them all. Trust me. I know you can't miss them all. If there's a sign to be hit, I usually hit it. But anyway, we'll refill this. I'm quite impressed that he got round in time. But yeah, so like I say, it's just a case of where I go. In actual fact, I might get in touch with the person that I'm thinking of, and gather some thoughts. It's the same with 1950s. I've told you many times before that I have someone that watches those videos, and that I consult with, and helps a great deal with that series in keeping it sort of on the straight and narrow, if you like, and keeping it real, which is, really what I wanted, because obviously, coming from the UK, I don't really know much about American farming. I, know what I know about the Hill family because I've read bits. It's not a huge it's like literally, I would say probably, I don't know, 10, 15, maybe 20 pages of documents, and they're not all in the same place. They're scattered all over the internet, where people have sort of covered, and they've sort of written bits and what have you, and the rest that I get, I sort of I'll read between the lines, so but he does help to keep it really straight and narrow, and I really appreciate it. And it really does help that series and the longevity of that series as well. And as I say, that series will run until the present day. However, I do realise we're going to have to make slightly more progress, or slightly quicker progress in that series, to get to the modern day, than what we are doing, because otherwise I'm going to be 109 by the time we get to, sort of 2000 and 10, somewhere around there, and then I'm going to be another, sort of 40 years, still going to be 40 years behind, but we're not doing too bad. My aim is that if I can sort of do roughly 10 years each year of my life in that, then I should, I should start to catch it up quite rapidly. The other thing as well is that at the moment, like, jobs are taking a long time because the equipment is small, but by the time we get to the 60s and by the time we get to the 70s, equipment's starting to get bigger, tractors are starting to get more powerful, and then suddenly we'll be able to get the same fields worked in a quicker time, and that's progress, But yeah, as I say, going back to this series, I'm not sure what quite to do, because like I say, we've reached that point where we either need to, yeah, okay, look, we accept, we've got the amount that we've got, let's now invest, let's now make it so that we eventually farm the map and do everything, which originally this wasn't what that was going to be. Originally it was going to be, can I make money from uh from sort of not farming, if you like, so greenhouses, and but obviously then I realised that to do the vegetables we would have to farm a little bit, and there isn't the equipment out at the moment that is able to sort of keep us fairly local, so we've had to grow to fields, we've had to sort of do this, that and the other to sort of keep moving, whereas I now know some of the mistakes that I've made. And one of them was leaving it on easy. I'm looking forward to harvesting our grapes this year, just because I've got a new way of doing it, and that does remind me we're going to have to put down a winery in the yard to make wine with, and then next year what I'm going to do is, or in the spring, I'm going to lay the rest of that down with vines, and that's going to be sort of our vineyard. And then where the house is, I'm going to sell the house and demolish it, and then I'm going to put the olives, I think, that side. There's also some really thin fields that are not very big that would be, again, ideal for, grapevines and olives and stuff like that. So, the awkward sort of fields where we don't really want to be running sort of machinery in, we can run that type of operation. So yeah, they're sort of, I've got plans and things I'd like to do, but I did sort of mute and bring up the fact that there is an idea that I've had for a series, that one person has sort of said, yes, I'd quite like the idea of that. I like the idea of it. Whether I could do it or not, I don't know, but I can certainly try. And that's doing, there's a map that's got 4 maps in one map, and I sort of said that we could divide it up into decades, or periods of farming, and we could have like the 50s and 60s and 70s in one corner. We could have the 80s, 90s in another, the 2000, 2000 and say 10 in the other, and then the next section could be like literally all modern day, and we could run all sort of 4 eras, if you like, and really understand the progress and things that have been made in farming. I quite like the idea of that series, but again, it's can I sort of pull that off, or can I achieve it? But yes, and say kind of reached that bit in YouTube where it's kind of like, so I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's life factors. I don't know whether it's sort of external factors or whatever. But the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks, the numbers of views on my videos have like literally plummeted to the most part, apart from 1950 series, to the most part. A lot of them are sort of like in and around sort of 10 to 20 views, and it is a little bit demotivating when it comes to, as I say, making videos and to keep it up, and so it's either I carry on and sort of say, yeah, 10-20 views, great, I'll just carry on, or it's, do you stop doing YouTube altogether, or it's, okay, do we take, maybe it's actually the series that we're doing are not very good and people are not watching them, and do we try something else? Do we maybe sort of get rid of this series, and and then and start something new, or it's kind of, as I say again, and I seem to reach this point quite a lot, but it's a case of what do we what do I do, but anyway, for now, let's crack on with this. We've got this to do, and we'll get this harvested. We'll get down there, get that harvested. The wheat that we're harvesting at the moment is going to the mill. I know that trailer wasn't full, but the idea is that I'm not sure that I would have got another full trailer in there. So send him off when I'm completely empty, and then by the time he gets back I should be full again. But if I send him off and I've only managed to empty half of my tank. Obviously I can do half as less work as what I could have done now that I've got a completely empty tank. So, and also as well, you'll notice that the textures have come back inside the grain tank. So it is every time I update the game that those tank textures seem to disappear. So thankfully they're back. So yes, it's recovered itself. There's some really nice, and this again is a part of the reason why I'm sort of saying what I'm saying, because at the moment in the shop there is some equipment that would help us to implement the next level in terms of having the more powerful tractor and bigger implements that we can get our work done a bit quicker. Not only can we get it done a bit quicker, but we can do more. That's the thing, is that, I said the other day that I was lucky enough to be involved in a meeting with a farm that were, thinking about buying some new sprayers, and they sort of concluded what they concluded, and afterwards, after the meeting, I kind of sort of said to them, is this the process that you went through with the combines? And they said, yeah, this is, how we decide what we're going to buy, and, what we're going to do, and, and everything. And, and I said to him, I said, well, would two Lexion 8900s not have been more efficient than four 8700s? And he said that on the calculations that they'd done, on all of the workings out, the costings, the resale value, and everything like that, that it was far more economical for his farm to buy four 8700s rather than buy two 8900s. And he gave other examples, to which, sort of I can sort of remember bits of what he said and get the gist of it, but I can't remember all of what he said. Where in the past they've kind of, and he said like, bigger is not always better. It's a case of sometimes bigger is better, and sometimes bigger is more efficient. But he said, with having two combines, that are that big, we wouldn't actually get done as much in the day if one of them broke down, as opposed to having four, and if one of them breaks down, you've still got three. And tank wise, header wise, they're more efficient. Like I say, I can't remember everything that he was kind of explaining, but it was really interesting. And I think, if we do carry on with this farm, this is where we're sort of at. Do we carry on with the wheel tractors that we've got, replace the Izeki, replace the Zeta that we're using at the moment for the car, and start to look at slightly bigger tractors, slightly more horsepower, and sort of maintain. I don't know. There's a part of me that sort of says, I say what we should do. We should, just grow this to be absolutely massive. In a year's time, come back to, doing a series like this, where we then we're able to keep it with what we wanted to keep it this time. This time is like, this is how, sort of we grow, and we sort of get bigger. I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm not making too much sense at the moment, but as I say, I've sort of been going through the numbers of not only the save, my channel and everything, and I don't know. It's it's a case of feeling a little bit, I think, demotivated this morning, and it's just I'm not sure which way to go on a lot of things. I mean, it doesn't help that I've got, sort of things going on in life that are really getting to me as well. And for someone that does suffer from sort of I'm not going to say mental illness, but mental anxiety, and stuff like that, it's a bit hard. Again, like last week, it highlighted, and sort of made me feel even more down with myself. Was I tried to do a video on the 1950 series where I put my, sort of, I was in the bottom right hand corner of the video, chatting away, and you're able to see my face, and because people were saying, oh, you should put your face in it, channels grow a lot faster if the face is in it, and whilst I didn't necessarily want to do that, because as I've said many times before, I've got a face for radio, but not necessarily a face for TV. Um, you know, I thought, well, if it helps, then I'm all for helping, and I've only still got to talk, the way that I do now, and that's no problem. That's something I do anyway, and the only difference is that people can look in the bottom right hand corner of their screen and see my ugly mug there. So I thought, yeah, given everything, that's not too bad a thing to do, but. So the only way I could do it was to record myself with my tablet, and then sort of match the two together, but I couldn't sync the voice from my computer to what my mouth was doing on the camera, and it was annoying the hell out of me when I was watching it back, and I was thinking, nah, there's no way I can put this out. And then it was kind of like, why can't you do that? Why can't you just sync them two together? Honestly, it's not that hard to do, but I just could not sync them together. And then of course that adds another thing then, sort of onto the list of, sort of what I like to call made up problems, because if you're in a better place mentally, these issues, you just go, well, never mind, I'll have to wait till I get a webcam and then I can do it properly, and you sort of rationalize these things a lot better, whereas at the moment I'm sort of not rationalizing them very well at all, and it's just another stick to beat me with, to beat myself with. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at the moment. I'm sort of a little bit, sort of. I feel like in, not only this series, but not only in my life and not only in sort of my YouTube career, I've reached a bit of a crossroads, and it's kind of, I don't really know which way to go. I know which way I want to go, but that isn't necessarily the best way to go. And long term, that might not be the best thing either. So I know which way I want to go, but I don't know. I guess, we're going to have to, just wait and see. I had a very good friend many years ago. I don't do friends, as you know, because they tend to just sort of kind of want things, and when you're not able to give them what they want, they tend to then disappear, sort of further into the background. Well, that's certainly the case for every so-called friend I've ever had. But and she said that sometimes the only thing you can do is to sit and write it out, and when you sit and write it out, yes, it's tough to do, but you maybe then might be able to to come through it and sort of say, yeah, that's the way that I need to go. And I don't know. Anyway, I've rabbited on for far too long, and I've bored you all to tears, and probably no one's watching now, but I am going to switch over to a little bit of time lapse. I'm going to try and get this one done, and then we'll go up to those other two fields, and we'll get as much done as we can in this episode, and then if there's still a little bit of combining left to do thereafter, there won't be much left to do, because one of the fields is not that big, the other field is a bit bigger, but there won't be that much to do. I can do that off camera, and then as I say, we can then, next time we come back, we'll be in August, and the sorghum will probably need harvesting, and as I say, the veg will start to be ripe and need harvesting as well. So I'll see you in a little while. Thanks for listening. Enjoy your music. This is the second take of the ending of the episode that you've just watched. So during that ending, I recounted a story. It fitted in with what was going on at the time, as I was bringing the tractors back, to the farm. And basically, what we'd done was we'd set up the elevators, and we emptied the remainder of the wheat into the elevators, and we bought the other tractor back as well. As you can see, they're both over there now. But yeah, we bought them both back, and we emptied the remaining grain into there. That can then be tipped later on when the grain mill is empty again, and got room and capacity for the remainder of the wheat that we've done. So that's not going to be the end of the combining altogether. So we've still got an oat field that we're waiting to ripen, and we've still got 2 sorghum fields that are ready to be ripened as well. So yeah, as I say, at the end of that video, I told a story that related. I can't remember now what it was that I was saying at the time, because as you know, I record these videos and these episodes, and then I send them off to my 2 lovely ladies, and they watch them first to make sure that I don't get into trouble. Because as I've said before, as we know, Starmer and all of his people are on the lookout for people online in England saying things they shouldn't do, or being mildly offensive or whatever, and they're arresting them, and sort of worst case scenario, people are ending up in prison for it. And I said, this story, and basically what I did was I sort of said it as it happened, but I added some funny bits in too, just because I thought it would make an amusing story. And the 2 lovely ladies that I've got, they watched the video, as they always do. Every video I make that goes to them, they watch it, and then if they agree, yeah, that's fine, I put it up. And literally, I was on the phone to one of them, so one of them called me and went, the story exceptionally funny, brilliant, I laughed my head off. You have a way of telling stories sometimes that just makes them so funny, and what have you, but you can't put it out. And I was like, really? I said, I didn't say anything about anybody. It's like, no, I know you didn't, but you did a couple of accents within the video, and people might get a little bit upset by that. And I said that's how they speak. And she said, yeah, I know. She said, it's up to you. She said, I always say to you, it's just my advice. She said, and she said, that's my advice. I wouldn't put that in there. So I was like, okay, fair enough. Anyway, literally got off the phone, was sort of making a drink. Phone goes again, and it was my other lovely lady. So Lorraine and Mandy. And so the 2 of you out there that do try and keep me out of trouble. Because as I've said before, I like to think I'm a little bit of a sort of stand-up comic. It doesn't really come through in the videos because I'm terrified of saying something that I think is funny and a joke, and might not be construed the same way by other people. So I tend to not let that come through. Whereas this time I was sort of like, no, it should come through. I should be able to, sort of say, I wasn't being offensive to any one person or any group of people, but no, anyway, both of them sort of basically said the same thing. So I'm redoing the video. Anyway, back to what I was saying in the original part of that video, at the beginning, about growing bigger or not. This is the reason why I kind of posed the question, because we could buy this tractor, and this would then mean that we could then go on and buy, not necessarily this one, because I think this one's too big, but we could buy a cultivator that's bigger, and we'll be able to move on. This tractor would replace our Zeta and our Izeki tractor. Azeki, whatever, but that tractor, the blue tractor, that could replace that. And excuse me, we would be in a much better position to expand and grow the farm you know, quite rapidly. But yeah, that's kind of what I was meaning. I've kind of reached with this series a little bit of a crossroads. To be fair, I do actually sort of feel that for most of the series that I'm doing now, that I've kind of, apart from 1950s, because I really do enjoy that one, and like I say, you know, that one no problem with. I enjoy recording that. I enjoy playing that one. But as for sort of this one, the Walter one, Sunnyside Up Farms, you know, not many people are watching them, and I kind of think, well, is it me, or is it they're just not very good saves, and you know, would be better suited doing something else? I don't know, but we do need to make a mind up. As I say, you know, due to my stupid mistake that I made, you know, it's kind of sort of almost ruined the feel of this save, but it is what it is. You know, I can't do anything about it apart from either start again, which I don't really want to do, or, as I said earlier, you know, we could leave it for a year, and you know, by the sort of end of the year, you would think, you know, more likely than not, there would be other mods out, and we'd be able to do this save slightly more different, but slightly more the way I intended originally. But anyway, as I say, so I had to redo the video. Let me know in the comments about, you know, sort of where to go with the save and the farm. I will be getting in touch with the person that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, because I do value their input on this save a lot, because they do watch every episode, and you know, they usually do comment. So I will be getting in touch and sort of picking your brains and getting your thoughts. But yeah, as I say, just had to redo the video. So thanks ever so much for watching, and this time hopefully this should pass scrutineering, and we should be able to get this uploaded in time for when the episode's due to go out. So thanks ever so much for watching, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye for now.